Okay, so joining us now for more on all of this is Guy Benson, host of The Guy Benson Show on Fox News Radio, a good friend of ours. Welcome to the program.
Hi.
Good morning to you. I want to get to this breaking news from the Des Moines Register. They just came out with their brand new poll from Iowa showing that President Trump is leading Biden now 50% to 32% among likely voters. Not the kind of news that you want to wake up to Monday morning if you're on Team Biden. What is interesting is this Washington Post editorial board headline from Sunday. Let's put it up on the screen here. And it says, Biden should assume the polls are right, not wrong. President Biden has a polling problem and he needs to admit it. Guy.
Let's talk about this Des Moines Register poll, because Trump at 50% in Iowa is not that much of a shock. He won the state comfortably in 2016 and 2020, 8 or 9 points. Joe Biden at 32%, the incumbent president, in what has been a swing state not that long ago. That's the eye popper, an 18-point margin, because Trump is strong. He's got the bare majority, but the incumbent has less than 1/3 support in that state, which is an astounding number. And you might say, well, this is a weird outlier. We haven't seen anything really close to that. But I would point out this is considered the gold standard poll in the state of Iowa. It's a woman, Ann Seltzer, who runs it, and she almost nailed Trump's margin in the last 2 elections in Iowa. In fact, Trump barely outperformed her poll, just a little bit. So if he's even in the ballpark of up 18 points in a state like Iowa, the story isn't Iowa. The story is Minnesota to the north, Wisconsin in the neighborhood. If he's got that kind of margin there and she's tracking that correctly, the Democrats have to be very worried about the upper Midwest in general.
Yeah, make a lot of good points there. Washington Post is on that. I just read this. Here's some CNN on a Sunday over the weekend. Watch.
Joe Biden trailing Trump in key battleground states and polling well behind your Senate colleagues who are running for re-election. How can you look at these statistics, these numbers, and not conclude that Joe Biden is a drag on the ticket?
Oh, that's not going to be the case.
But look at the numbers.
Well, that's one poll.
I mean, you're happy for your colleagues, I'm sure, but Biden is underpolling all of them.
So it's obvious, everybody sees it, and we'll see where it goes from there. Meanwhile, Trump's got a decision to make, and whether or not the vice president on his ticket really matters. All right, here's a couple things. Insiders predict Rust Belt Republican, possible Trump VP pick could flip Biden votes in key swing states, talking about J.D. Vance. Here's the quote from a Republican strategist. He would be a lot of help across the entire Rust Belt, could help pick up winning working class Democrat votes in places even outside his home state of Ohio. He would be an asset everywhere, really, but especially in states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. It's not ironic that we picked that right now with the Des Moines Register poll out a moment ago. Is J.D. Vance in there? I guess he's in the mix.
He's in the mix.
Do you see it that way?
He's in the mix based on all the reporting. I've kind of looked at all this with a jaundiced eye for a while. When they leak out, all right, we've got the final finalists, and we're doing some more vetting of only these people, part of me wonders, is that misdirection? Are they going to go somewhere else? I'm not sure Trump needs help with the types of voters they were just talking about. I think Trump is the help with those demographics. Where he needs help is in suburban areas with sort of a more sort of like traditional-ish normal Republican to reassure voters who kind of want to go to Trump, but they're a little uncomfortable with him as a person. That's the type of person I would urge him to pick, but he's going to make his decision, and it's going to be a dramatic, I think, discussion all the way to the very last second.
So let me ask you, though, because Bill and I were talking about this during the break. I mean, this is the VP. Obviously, people are going to come out to the voting polls and booths for President Trump. But the VP, I mean, could really clinch this when it comes to independents, female voters. How is Nikki Haley really out?
The former president says she's out, and said that in no uncertain terms. So if you take it
But
as
is it a
word,
misdirection?
Possible. I mean, I think that there's some other people in the mix who aren't being discussed who would be intriguing. We just talked about Iowa, Kim Reynolds, very popular governor there. I know that she backed DeSantis, but Mike Pence endorsed Ted Cruz in 2016, and Trump picked him anyway. Mike Pompeo, I think, is an interesting name. Who knows? But it's probably one of these names, Burgum or the rest of them. But you're right. There are certain voters who I think are teetering. They are tired of Joe Biden. They cannot take it anymore. They're not 100% sure they want the whole Trump show back. And giving them a different look of a Republican that makes them feel a little bit more reassured, I think that is probably a priority here in terms of doing the electoral math. And Trump ultimately does have sort of this instinct about what voters want to see.
Sure.
We'll know within a month because that's when the convention rolls.
Yeah, we have to know.
Thank you, Guy. We'll see you on the radio, okay?
Sounds good.
Guy Benson, thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.